Hi, my name's Gabby Bergeron, and I'm going to be showing y'all how to do a step-by-step painting of a bird and a really cool moon. And so to get started, I just did, and this is a pretty small painting, so I just did a little bit of each color. My palette's a little messy, so I tried to clean it for you guys. So to start off, we are going to get a pencil, and we're just going to do a big swirl in the sky. So I'm going to start off just like that. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. So it's going to be, just like a giant swirl like that. Let's see. All right, you can see it now. All right. Going off of that, you can imagine the swirl going off the page, and you're going to want to come back. You're going to imagine where it would come back on the canvas. And so you're going to land, let's say, right about here. And you can kind of do this on your own, whatever you feel. And we're just going to make it swirl just like that. So now we have kind of a giant S. And if you want, you can make it come back around. You can make it start over here. That's up to you, whatever you want to do. So that's just going to be our guiding line for now. And so let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off, we're going to do the sky first. So I want a relatively big brush, something like that, or that would be good, whatever size is available to you. I'm going to go ahead and use the smaller one, and I'm going to get some water on my brush. All right, so this is where it's going to get fun. And don't worry if, just do your best. It's going to look great no matter what. Okay, so we're going to start off with I'm going to start out with some blue, some cobalt blue. And for all of our sky colors, it's really important to remember we're always going to add white to them. So I'm going to add about that much. Let's see. Yeah, my screen makes it look a little brighter, so it might look really white for y'all, but okay, so that's what we're going to do. Just, it's going to be a lighter color, and you're going to want to make sure you get a lot of paint on your brush. You're going to want it to be able to hold throughout the painting as you go. So, all right, so we're just going to start off with our little line that we drew, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And there's a few ways you can hold your brush too. What I'm going to do is just hold it on the side like that. And we're just going to bring it around. And now you'll be able to see what the line I drew a little bit better. Okay, so, oh yeah. So now we have our beautiful little squiggly. And you can just go over that a little bit. If you want to add a little more white, I kind of like to do that, where I just kind of add in on the sides, because that's what really is going to liven up your painting. If you have different shades, in your colors like this, so instead of just doing one blue line, you kind of lighten up some parts, but keep some parts darker. All right, so now we have our first line. You're doing great. You've got paint on the canvas. Now we're going to keep going, and I'm going to go ahead and wash off my brush. Okay, so the second color we're going to do is we're going to do our really pretty violet color. We're going to do the same thing. Don't forget to add your white, because if not, your painting is not going to turn out like, well, it'll still look good, but Okay, so I have this nice little color right here. And if you notice, I kind of kept some streaks in the white, or in some streaks of white in the color. And I like to do that because it just adds a little bit more texture and a little bit more variation of the lines and the colors. So you can do that if you feel comfortable. If not, don't worry about it. And you're just going to go ahead and follow the line that you already did. You can see some parts are a little darker than others, and so yeah, it's good to just go with it, whatever however your painting is, feeling. I like to think that paintings have moods, so however your painting is feeling that day. If it wants to go a little darker or a little lighter, just kind of let it go with the flow. Let it be what it wants. And now that we've done it to one side, we're going to do it to the other side. So now we have it on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and wash my brush again, and we're going to do our third color. Okay, so we're just going to take our really pretty aqua green color, and we're going to go ahead and mix that into our white, like we've done with our past two colors. Oh yeah, that's going to be really pretty. You can see it right here. Right there? Yeah. Okay, and what you're just going to do exactly what you did for the violet color, and you're just going to outline the colors. And make sure when you're doing this to kind of have a variety of width in your lines. So some parts you might want a little thicker, like down here. And then some parts might be a little thinner, like right here. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and repeat that step throughout the entire canvas. You're just going to keep doing all three of these colors, and if you want, you can even do a layer of white. That will really make it stand out. So I'm actually going to do that. You have a little bit of water on your brush just to keep the paint flowing throughout, and it'll be easier to move along the canvas. All right, now that we have like our base lines, we're going to go ahead and step back a little bit, look at our painting, and see where we can make a few little adjustments or improvements. See, my lines, a lot of them are kind of the same, so I want to go back in and just touch up a little bit. So that is what I'm going to go ahead and do now. My background is done. I really like it. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next step. All right, while it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and explain what we're going to do. The next step we're going to do is our bird, and I'm going to use a smaller brush. I'm going to use a size about that big. But I'm going to start off with my pencil. So we're just going to go ahead and navigate where this is going to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my bird in this lower right-hand corner. And it's going to make a lot of sense, especially once we do our moon. I'm going to put that in our top left corner, and it's really going to give our painting a sense of balance. So I'm going to go ahead, let's see. Our background is pretty much dry, so I'm going to go ahead and start. So we're going to go ahead and go about 2/3 of the way up. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a little line. Sorry, you can't see my line too well on the screen, but just take my word for it. You'll see it once I paint it. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead. You can use a ruler too. I don't have one on hand. I like to just freehand things usually, but you're going to go ahead and do a line vertical as well. So it's going to look like a T, just a really long T. And that's going to be our little stand for our little bird. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and paint that so you can see it because my camera quality is not very good. Okay. So he's going to fill in that pencil line. Also, if you have any sort of chalk, that works really well too. So now we have our little T in the corner. And now we're going to go ahead and start on the bird. So you can first do this in pencil as well if you feel more comfortable doing that. But I feel like just because you can't really see it on the camera, I'll just go ahead and do it in my paintbrush. But if you feel more comfortable, just do it beforehand in pencil. Okay, so we're going to start off with our body. And I'm just going to make a big oval. And I want it to come down a little bit. Don't let it sit on the line right here. You want it to sit a little bit below, because if not, it won't look correct. It won't look right. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and add our little head on our little bird. You can give your bird a name if you want. Let's see, I'm gonna name mine Reginald. Okay, so the head, it's the same thing as well. Don't put it on the top. It's going to look really weird. Just have it sitting a little bit lower, resting a little bit lower. So if you draw it or you paint it, you can always kind of work with it and make it look better than you had originally drawn it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring mine in just so I can better see. And I like to keep this black just because it gives the whole sky, it gives it a little more, it just makes it stand out more. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You know, keeping it black, it just kind of looks like a shadow. I don't know, it looks really, really cool if you just keep it black. But if you want to add a little bit of something, you know, maybe you can add a little detail with white. If you want to push it a little further, you can definitely do that. Okay. So Reginald is looking really good now. He's looking more like a bird, definitely. So we're going to go ahead and give Reginald some bottom feathers. And we're going to make him looking toward the moon whenever we do it. So I'm going to have him pointing this way. And I just like, you can make his feathers in the back as long as you want or as short as you want. And then once we're done with that, just kind of look at your bird and you can shape him a little bit more. And once you feel like he's looking good, we're going to go ahead and add a little beak to him or her. Perfect. Yes, now Reginald is ready for his sky. Alright, so now that we're done with our little bird, now we're going to go on to our moon. We're going to go ahead and take that yellow that we had put, and you're just going to load it up pretty good on your brush. So yeah, you can see you have some standing off of it. And where our little swirl is going, we're going to want it to be in that general area. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. And I'm going to go ahead and make kind of a C, just like that. Yep. And once you've got your base C, we're going to go ahead and add to it, kind of like we did with the background. You're going to add some parts that are going to be a little thicker and then some that are a little thinner. I like to make this part thicker, just, you know, the body part of the moon, I guess you could say. Okay, once we have our moon, oh, it's kind of hard to see. Here, I'm going to bring it up so you can see it. Okay, so this is how it's looking so far. Alright, once we have our C, I'm going to go ahead and get some more white on my brush. And we're going to go ahead and add some highlights onto our moon. Now that we have our moon, I'm going to go ahead and add some stars in the sky. And we're just going to place those. I want to go with the direction of the sky. It's going to look a lot better that way instead of just doing it randomly. It'll still look good if you did that, but it'll just enhance it a lot more if it's going with the sky. So we're going to go ahead and just make varying sizes of stars. So some you want to make them a little smaller. Some you want to make them bigger. But none, you don't want to make them as big as the moon or anything. You want them to just be little speckles, just like how stars are normally. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of like light illuminating off of each one, and that's just going to give it a really good finishing touch. This is kind of your last bit of just making it pop, really making it glow and look really fun. So yeah, this is an important step. First, we're going to add white to some yellow. You're going to want to add a lot of water to it so that it's super watery, almost like watercolor or something. Yeah, so it's really, really a pale yellow with a lot of water. All right, make sure it's not dripping off, but is really wet and really ready to move around. So first we're going to go ahead and do our moon. And you're just going to want to lightly go around it. You know, and you don't have to color it in. It's almost like just little strokes. If you want to watch, you know, you just kind of, just like that. Okay. And then you're just going to want to go ahead and do that around all of your stars. The very last thing I'm going to do, just to go ahead and make this painting feel complete, is get a little black on my brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit of accent lines on my moon. Okay, so here we have our finished product. Hope you had a lot of fun painting this along with me, because that is what art is supposed to be. It shouldn't be anything too stressful. It should be fun and relaxing. So yeah, thank you.